That is what Canon Chukle will deal with you in that area, because it is GBV. It is gender-based violence, where the man will beat the wife, where the man will frustrate every effort of the woman, and then you will say, Mata, Aure, Hakurine. That's not what the prayer book is saying. Hello? It is also given that with delight and tenderness, they may know each other in love, and through the joy of their bodily union, may strengthen the union of their hearts and lives. It is given that they may have children and be blessed in caring for them and bringing them up in accordance with God's will to his praise and glory. You who is the man joining people should know the purpose of God in marriage. That is why I had to just quickly bring out these things, and they are from the what? The introduction of the order of what? Of marriage. That is why the couples should not go into marriage unadvisedly or lightly, but reverently, soberly, and with high purpose, in the knowledge that enduring love is both man's greatest accomplishment and God's most precious gift. That can be seen in the Book of Common Prayer. The things to do during the pre-marriage preparation. 1. Pre-marriage counseling sessions should be conducted and at least 10 times before the marriage date. Remember, I think that it was the administrator who was talking and says, don't just think that you have done just periphery things and say, I know the woman, I know the wife. No. Counseling should be done at least 10 times. When he was talking that if you are involved in a marriage where there is a problem, for example, you marry somebody's wife to somebody's, you are liable to 7 years in prison. That nearly happened to us because my Oga then sent a woman for me to counsel her for marriage. I've never seen the man with my eye. He said the man, his own is done in Lagos, Neo Abuja. It was on the day of the wedding that we saw him. Thank God I was not the one who joined them. So if there is any issue, my Oga will settle that one. You can use introductory parts of the order of service and chapter 5 of the Constitution of the Anglican of Diocese of Bukuru to form areas of counseling in case if you don't have any book for counseling. If you check our Constitution, you will discover that we have 10 pages that talks about marriage. So you know that it's a very serious issue. B, the priest should go through chapter 5 of the Constitution of the Anglican Diocese of Bukuru to have a better understanding of his role and that of the diocesan in case of any doubt or challenges. You know, I like Anglican ministry because you don't have to kill yourself for any issue. If they bring any issue that is beyond me, I can simply just refer it to the what? To the man at the top. If you are a catechist and there is a problem and you are struggling with it, you don't know how, you are just killing yourself. Just refer it to your Oga. But don't refer the work that you can do to your Oga, but the one that is beyond you. So you have to read the Constitution to know where you are to come in terms of challenges and where the diocesan will make his decision. That is very important. C, some tests are mandatory before any marriage is contracted for the sake of the what? The couples and the integrity of the church. That should be done, especially HIV/AIDS, sickle cells, and pregnancy tests with any other tests that is relevant. Because that, if you don't do that one, I remember there was a marriage that we were to do, and everybody was there. The marriage was 10 o'clock. The bishop insisted because they have not done pregnancy tests. The bishop says, say, any pregnancy test in the we had to wait there until they did the pregnancy test and brought the result before the marriage was contracted. Because they told them to do it, they were doing like this. Bishop says, say, any. And you know, if they have not done it, if there's any issue, they will say, I touched the knee. But you know, it's very good for you to do these tests, and especially for the sickle cell and HIV, it should be done so that the couple should make their decision maybe 6 months before that time. Because if you see the children with sickle cell, you will pity those families. No matter your love, if there is sickle cell where the children, please, you have a heavy work to work on the couple it's better they separate at that time, because they will give themselves trouble. So you have to do that. It's your responsibility as the what? As the priest. So teach your members to know that it is not when we have 3 months or 2 months to marriage, then you come to the church. No, as early as possible, because these places must be conducted. D, the couple should go to the registry of the local government where the marriage is going to be conducted to register their marriage 21 days before the proposed date of marriage. Bans of marriage are published 3 Sundays before the date of marriage. In the service of blessing of marriage or civil marriage, there is no ban of marriage. You know, something happened with me. One of my member who wants to bless his marriage in Mangu, he went and told them in the east. They said he must bring a ban of marriage by me. I told him, I said, go and tell them. If they are doing their things there, do they ask me for anything? Because they want to grab the man to pay some money. I told him, I said, go and tell them there is no ban of marriage in blessing of marriage. So we are not doing anything. The man was very happy because they want to catch him. He was not paying their ladies there. But you should know that in the blessing of marriage is a blessing of marriage. The marriage has already been done. There is no ban of what? Of marriage. Make sure that the man has paid all the necessary what? Things that the custom and tradition of the woman demands. Encourage the families, if they are your members, to do away with things that are repugnant to the Christian faith. Yesterday we talked and Canon was saying that if in its case is on, if anybody is want to marry, maybe I will send my children to your house so that I will not be. But I told some people, I said, for me, I can decide anything for my children because my elder brothers are doing their own, they are not calling me. So everybody chop his own. But make sure that things are done properly. Hello? Now the order of service is there. We have the holy wedlock, we have the procession or the bridal march, we have the introduction, the declaration, and the marriage. The marriage, if you have more than one pastor or priest who are doing this work, I know that normally you should have what? You should have shared the duties for everybody to do. And I understand that in some cases, the Anglican church is not like any other churches, where if you are doing marriage, somebody from Kokin, somebody from Ekwa, they will come in their mufti and you pack them into the chancel. No, they should not enter the chancel no matter what. If they want to enter, they should be properly dressed and they must be what? Ordained priests in their own denomination. Now, the signing of the marriage register can be done immediately after the sermon or at the end of the what? The service itself. I will not want to go into the order of service of the holy wedlock because they are there. But then we have a little of challenge, especially in the times of the unveiling of the what? Of the veil. Hello? Where do we unveil the veil? Or where will the groom unveil the veil? You know, the prayer book is not specific to where it is, but I believe that it is done immediately after they are wedded. Then, in some churches, they don't know the implication of that. They will say that, kabude ko itane ko ba itaba wancan duk shirme ne. Abin ma is transparent, kana gani itane ko ba itaba ko da yake these days mata suna wani penti da ka gani ma baraka san wai ita bane. Hello? Yes, but I think when they are wedded, you can do the what? You can do the unveiling. Now the order for blessing of marriage is there. I will not touch that one. I will just go through the notes. There are notices or things that you should note in regards to both the holy wedlock and the blessing of civil marriage. One, in response to the bans, if an impediment to the marriage is alleged, the marriage may not proceed until the said allegation is found to be without substance and the truth is established. That is why you register your marriage in the local government, because they will place it on the notice board for those 21 days. In case, if it is somebody's wife that you want to marry, that notice is there. And also, the bans are announced in the 3 Sundays, so that if there is any case, somebody should respond before the date. But if somebody comes to you on the day that you are about to ask, you still ask on the day of the marriage. Akwai wani dalili da zai hana wa'innan biyu su zama mata da miji, in akwai wani ya tashi ya fada. Akwai wanda suna ganin cewa they are clever, they will scatter everything. A ranar zai ce wai ya tashi wai ga hannun shi. Yana yana ne tun da aka fara. But then, you will not shut him down. You will have to take him to the vestry to hear his complaint. If the issue was done maybe on the eve of the marriage, the whatever it is. But don't be foolish and say, allow him to shut down the marriage just like that. That is why the bans are being announced for 3 Sundays, and the local government is advertising the marriage for 21 days. Some of us, we are not advising people to go and do that. It's very essential and it's very necessary, because our church is legally registered with the Corporate Affairs of Nigeria. Our church is known by by the Constitution of Nigeria. If you look at the certificate of marriage, the one that the registry will give you and the one of the church, they are similar. They are almost the same thing. Hello? Secondly, it is apt and pastorally necessary that either of the parties must be a member of the parish where the marriage is to be conducted. Where is Venerable Nden? Bayan Uncle? There was something we did. He was my supervisory priest before in pension. His friend was a friend to somebody who was getting married in 2 weeks' time. And Kokin told him that marriage is postponed because they took the girl for pregnancy test and they say that she was pregnant. Her uncle says, he took her to another hospital. They say there was no pregnancy. So Kokin says, why did they go to another hospital? So they said, okay, if that is the case, we will suspend the marriage for 2 weeks. Sai abokin shi ya ce, je ka samu reverend na Anglican mana. Ya ce ya je Catholic tukuna. Sai abokin ya ce, ka je gun reverend na Anglican. So sun zo. Reverend din ya ce, well, it's good, but akwai condition ai. Ya ce, number 1, ka taba kwana da ita ne ko ya accept. Ya ce, to sai ka tuba ka karbe Yesu ya zama mai cetonka. Ya ce, na tuba. Ya ce to ɗaya kenan. Ya ce na biyu, dokanmu baya haɗa aure ma wanda ba members namu ba. So dole ɗayan ku zai zama member namu. Ya ce shi yau ya zama member. Hello? That was what gave us the boldness. In fact, we went and borrowed a Kokin church and did the marriage there. Yes, Kokin suspended the pastor. But what really happened was that it was not his fault. The people of the community says that su suka gina church so ba one day sai hana zai auren anan ne. But what I'm trying to tell you is that the man had to be a member of the Anglican church, and he's still a member of the Anglican church up to today. So don't go and marry people from somewhere that they are not your members. After they are done, they go. No, it is not our rule. Christian marriage is a solemn and public covenant between a man and a woman in the presence of God. It is required that both parties must be baptized members of the church, and that the ceremony be attested to by at least 2 witnesses. You don't need plenty people in marriage. 2 witnesses are okay. Okay? And they must be baptized members of the church. If you have an issue with that, go to the Constitution of the Anglican Diocese of Bukuru. It will tell you what to do. And in some cases, if the other party is not a baptized member and wish to be baptized, that one you can do. But if she is not, go to the Constitution. The Constitution will tell you what to do. It is prescribed that the priest or bishop presides at the celebration of the marriage. A deacon cannot do that, a catechist cannot do that. It must be a priest or the bishop himself. The bride and bridegroom may learn the vows by heart, or that they may read the vows themselves. Or else, if they cannot read, the man repeats the vows phrase by phrase after the priest. It is advantageous for you to ask them to read the vows themselves. Akwai wani mutum a sabon barki lokacin da ina marish, ya yi auren shi, ya kawo shi ne ya kawo ma matan shi kawanta. Da an gama auren sai an ce sai ya je ya koma ya tafi da kawon, ashe dama girlfriend na shi. An ce yaya kaya kawai ai da pastor ne ya ce ya fada, shi ba shi ne ya pastor ya force na shi fada. So it's good for them to know the vows and say it themselves. In a place where the people cannot read, you can say it and they repeat after you. But it is advisably for them to do it what? Themselves. And that is why you must have rehearsals in your marriages. You have to have rehearsals so that you do everything before the day of the marriage. Only the minister who ties the knot may sign the register and the certificate. Some churches don't have the register, they have certificate. Some don't have two. They will go and borrow. Please, every church should have this. Normally, it was a church that have a priest that's supposed to wait. But we know that any church, we have the mandate to do that. So every church should have their what? Their certificate and their register. The ring. The wedding rings symbolizes many things in different cultures that have used them throughout the history of marriage. Initial traditions indicate that a man placed a ring on the finger of a woman simply as a proof that he possessed, in bracket, her. The ring was placed on the left finger of the left hand. Before then it was placed on the right hand before going to the left hand. It is considered the weaker side of the body to indicate submission of the woman to the man. More romantic notions were added with the thought that the ring finger, which is this one, contained a vein that run directly to the heart. Also added at some point was the thought that this circular design implied, the ring for marriage is cycle. Is cycle, that is. So it implies an eternal bound, and the latest till death do us part is the most modern concept. Men started wearing ring before. It was only worn to the women, but men started wearing ring at the Second World War to remind them of their wives back home. According to Lade Omoneje, the placing of the ring on the book, therefore the Holy Bible, however, is an acknowledgement that all our worldly goods belongs to God, and the giving away of the bride was originally a giving to God, who betrothed her on her husband as God gave Eve to Adam. So that's why you will ask, who gave this woman to this man? And somebody will come and take her and hand over to you, who is the priest, a representative of God. So that is what it means. Rings to Christians symbolizes mutual love, devotion, and commitment. Number 8, the veil. The veil can symbolize purity, innocence, and modesty. It can also represent the bride's transition from her old life to her new life as a wife. Romantically, the veil adds a sense of romance and mystery to the wedding ceremony. That is why sometimes those that are blessing marriage, they will want to put on the veil, which they are not supposed to do that. I know a woman that I was counseling them for a blessing of marriage, and I told them, you are not using white. She insisted that she must use white. I say, I'm not the one. I show her the prayer book. She says, Is your Anglican different? She left us in the church with her husband, and that was how they left the church. I say, "Nee, I have sworn in my ordination to uphold the word, and I will not change it because of you." Hello? So they want even to wear white and to put veil. It's not proper, please. Because everything we are doing in the church, it has its what? Its significance. Originally, the veil was said to be a Roman tradition where the bride wear it to protect her from evil spirits that may want to cause her sorrow in her marriage. Hello? Processional cross is not carried at marriage services, usually because there is no choir procession during the service. It is the part of our what? Evangelical or low church tradition, except if it is a high church that is set by the Right Reverend Dr. A.A. Ajayi. The choir follows no order except the cross. So if there is no procession the choir do not go anywhere. Number 10, in blessing of civil marriage, both the husband and the wife will march into the church together. Yesterday our brother said that one. There is no how I went for one in marriage, and the husband and his friends were already seated in the church. So we talked with the Oga, say, why are these ones sitting down? They have already eaten their cake now, why should they have it again? They should go out and come with their wives. No matter how big or how whatever the man is, follow the prayer book. Follow the prayer book. Let them match with his wife and come in. Imba ya so ya match the wife na shi da ya hakura. Amma ya riga ya yi menene ya ci saurin shi. So ya match the matan shi. The wife will wear pink wedding gown or traditional dress and without a veil. But I have a question, and I've always been asking this question. I said, why is the emphasis only on the bride's dressing? The man can decide any color, anything. Yes, sir, one does it thank me. You know, when we were to marry with my wife, and I think that they are the problem. I told her, I said, I will use cassock because that is my uniform. I am proud of my cassock, just like the army. If they are marrying, she said, Lai baza yakaba. Say the court din nan da an saba sawa. But why is the emphasis on the bride dressing? I don't know. I don't really know. Hello? And that is another issue. Number 12, the certificate of holy matrimony, yesterday it was said, and that of the blessing of marriage are different. Some people make the mistake of giving the certificate of the holy wedlock to those that did blessing of marriage, and give that of the blessing of marriage to those that did holy wedlock. I have 1 hour 30 minutes, and you took 1 hour from me, so I must finish what I have here. The vestments are the cassock, the soplins, the white stole, black shoes, and black cover shoes. The couple, number 14. Let us listen to this one. The couple kissing each other is not supported by the Book of Common Prayer. It is a borrowed word, practice. Hello? You say you may kiss the bride, and you are forcing the man to kiss her. Hello? Ya kuna so ai iskanci a cikin church. Iskanci ne. Yanzu ke da mijinki za ku, what is kissing? Is it not act of sexual intercourse? Why will you do it in the church? Wani ka nuna halinka ne a cikin jama'a. Wanda ya saka. Amma inda mutumin yana ki ko matan tana ana is not supported by our liturgy. That's what I'm telling you. Is not supported by our liturgy. So do not feel somehow if you don't ask them to do it. In suna son su yi akwai lokaci za su je su yi abin su ai. Amma ba church ba ai. Thank you very much. For the funeral service, I will also rush. Thank God I have copies. There are a lot of people that ask for the copies. I have the copies. It's here for you to buy. The production was, I did it at 1,050 naira. But for royalty, you can add something like the canon in Berkeley. He can give me 2.5 if he likes. But the idea with Reverend Malgit, there are those that already have copies. They will have it first before others. So I will just rush and finish. But I'm not obeying you because you have taken my time. Funeral service. This is one of the services that the priest should be careful to handle in order not to add to the pain and sorrow of the beloved family who are mourning their dead, and also not to murder the tradition of the church. He should take it as a responsibility or an honor to be available to help those coping with loss of their loved ones. So it's a privilege for you to be there to help the people that are coping with the loss of their lost one. It's not easy at all. And I'm telling you, the way the Anglican order or liturgy in burial is, if you do it properly, you will earn the respect of the whole community. I'm telling you, because the way we do our things is so orderly. I remember when we buried the younger brother of Venerable Danu in St. John's, the church was filled with talking people. They saw how orderly we were. And you know, Matthias, there is one reverend of Pokin that loved to participate in Anglican things. And he was coming to rob. I didn't know, and Matthias threatened the guy. He says, you don't know this man. If you dare do it, he will chase you out. I said, no, you should have left him if he will dress properly. That was how the man, had to force himself. But after they finished, everybody was happy. We are introducing so many things that are not in the liturgy. You are not the bishop. It is only the bishop that can do that. But you should not introduce anything that is not in the order. The service is mainly for comfort of the living and a point of stirring up of our hope in the risen Christ, and so prepares us for living for him and dying in the faith of Christ and in the great expectation of his return in glory to take to himself all who trust in him. It is a service of comforting one another with this living hope which we have by the resurrection of Christ Jesus from the dead. It is also to commend the spirit of the loved one. The order is there. We have two orders. The first and the second order. The second order is Requiem Mass, which has to do with what? Holy Communion, but mostly we do the first order. Okay? Now, what to note? One, this order is to be used for practicing Christians. Hello? It should be used for practicing Christian alone. And I know you would want to ask me who is a practicing Christian. Yeah, you can go to chapter 6 of the Constitution of the Anglican Diocese of Bukuru, section 24 and section 25. And I hope that every one of us have it. And our members also supposed to have it. It's there. You will know who is a practicing Christian and who is not. The order of service and procedure at the burial service shall be only that prescribed in accordance with the teaching of the Book of Common Prayer. That also can be seen in the Constitution of the Anglican Diocese of Bukuru, chapter 6, section 26. C. In funeral service, the choir sits at the stool from the beginning to the end of the service. In rare occasion, especially if the deceased is one of them, that is member of the choir, then they can follow. That is quoted from Venerable Dr. Paul Gershinen Paul, the General Secretary of the Church of Nigeria. You will observe also that the bishop does not carry his crucier during burial service, because his pastoral ministry on the member ended as soon as he or she died, only to face the Lord himself. Number 6, standing at the side of the corpse during service by a priest or priest has no liturgical history behind it. It is just a mere honor. It can be done for the unordained, but not by the ordained. The ordained should not stand for the person that is not ordained. The ordained should stand for the ordained. The not ordained should stand for their own too. Okay? So nobody should force you to go and stand for a member. No. It does not have a liturgical history. It's just an honor for the dead or the deceased. Originally, Christian burials are done in church graveyards. That is after the service. The graveyard, the church graveyard, is already or are already consecrated. You know, in one of the book of Omoneje, he says that if they are buried, you know, in this side of the world, if you go to the west, you discover that they have church graveyard, where if you die as a member, they will take you to that place. There is no need for you to, because the whole ground has already been consecrated. So if it is not a holy ground, you have to consecrate before burying. But for him, he says, if the members insisted in burying their deceased in their compound, you tell them that your service ends in the church. If they are not going to the church graveyard, you cannot be part of that service. So you finish the church and allow them to go and do it. But you know, in this part of the world, we don't have such graveyard. So you have to follow. You have to follow to the what? To the graveyard. And I advise that if you go, you make sure that everything is done before you remove your what? Your vestment. Parents should be encouraged to bring their children for church service. You know, if a child died, you don't bring him to church. You just take the child straight to the graveyard. It is advised that they too be brought to what? To the church for that service. You know, I did one for one of my members. They were very happy. They are also what? In fact, yes, we are abari yara su zo gare shi. Ku kuma kun ce ba haka bane. You know, so it is advisable. Advise the parents to know that children also can be brought to church. In ya mutu kar ko ya doka koi. Ajiya kabari ya dawo koi. They can also be brought. Hello? The vestments are there. We know the supplings, the cassock, the stool, purple stool. Some use black stool, black, the preaching scarf, black shoe and socks. Hello? So these are the vestments that are used. And in this work, what I've written, I just rushed. I was not able to go through it gently. But I have the references that I use here. I have Ladi Omoneji. I want to appreciate them. I have Venerable Sunday Ehiro. I have Venerable Joe Amaka. I have Theophilus Osikiru. I have the Most Reverend Timothy O. I have Thomas McKinsey. I have Mr. Gabriel Gambo. And also, I want to appreciate Professor Wotun B. Wanka and also Nelson Enelu, and also one Mandung David Fube and Venerable Gershinen Paul Dajur, and also all of you, because I use the constitution of the Anglican Diocese of Bukuru, which all of us contributed to it. Thank you very much. I want to also thank the Synod Committee of 2024. Yes, Synod Committee, because in this book, in this presentation, I have the vision and the mission of the diocese. And I think that in any paper I will present, because if I ask you now, what is the vision of the Anglican Diocese of Bukuru, it will be very difficult for any one of us to say it. So it's there in this. I also want to thank Right Reverend Dr. O.A. Ajayi. And lastly, I want to thank my bishop, Right Reverend Dr. JBN Zumbes. Thank you very much. Is there a question? Because I was stopped from 15 minutes ago. Am I allowed to give them questions, to ask questions? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Thank you very much. Okay, 6. Yeah, you know that even my Lord told us that us, as an Anglican, if you don't dress properly, you don't go into the chances. So that's my emphasis. It's not that they should not, if they dress properly and if they are priests, because you know we don't allow catechists to enter. So if in some churches they are just calling themselves pastors, they were not ordained by anybody. So don't allow them. But if they are priests and they are properly dressed, I remember when an RCC chairman was to preach in my church, he came with his pot. I said, Ogaya Bakakao uniform, but Zaya de San in a Chikakao man, I driver Jikakao. The driver Yakao, you know their vestment, they are not like our own. So I have to give him the preaching scarf and the hood. Yes, sir, say Shimayazama, correct Anglican. Hello? So it's not that you not allow them, no, but let them dress properly. Koda Anglican yazo amam be dressing properly, but he should not go in. That's what, and I know that's what my Lord said. Hello, who is number 2? Who is number 2? Questions? Okay.
So, praise the Lord. My question is about the dead wife and maybe a wife lost her husband, and also a husband lost his wife, and both of them are what will I say? No, it's not communicant. The other one, the husband, the wife has died. The other one, the husband has died. But they want to marry each other. Which type of cloth will they wear?
White. It's white. Yes. But is this white? Sabang aurenik. By blessing of marriage. I am a bishop. I am a Ni bangaya muko haka ba. Hello. I've finished. I'm done with her. I'm done with Jia wani ya magana nam bishop ya answer. So I don't want to answer anything contrary to what my Lord have said. You want to know the reason? Don't worry, I will give you the reason, but not now.
Now, it is for the benefit of all. The widow and the widower are back to non-marriage. They are back to bachelorship. The man is a bachelor, and she is now a spinster. Perfectly, because there is nothing tying them, and it is assumed, it's an assumption, it is assumed that they have not known themselves. That's the assumption. Being that they have children before bereavement and all that, but in this legal perception, it is assumed that between the new young couples now, they have not known themselves. So They are free to be in white. This is important because tomorrow somebody will say, hey, waɗannan ai masu an sai su sa farare mu ana mu kuma sun aure. It's good you explain to them they are free because they have nothing tied around them. They are not married. They are not married. They want to marry or about to marry.
Okay. Are you the third person? Okay, man.
Thank you very much, sir, for this presentation. You talked about, you said that when there's a problem in a marriage, that the liturgy, is not in support of telling the woman, yeah, could you just manage? It is and you said aure is not for manage. And when the woman is really going through tough time in that marriage, that's even as almost, it's almost been taken. So what do we do in that case?
What I said is that where the prayer book says that in plenty, in joy, and in whatever, is not referring to where the husband will be beating his wife. That's not what he's saying. Say ya duketa ya bata kashi ya poppa samata fiska. Say ache mata ai ki hankuri ko ai aure hakuri ne. I'm telling you, there's one of my books I wrote, Marriage and the Heroes of Our Time. That's the title of the book. Aure ba wai Allah yi shi mu enduring bane, ya yi shi mu enjoying nashi ne. Because if endurance ya nuna kaman punishment ne in kai aure. So it is left for whoever is to help counsel them to be able to make their marriage work. But the prayer book is saying, in plenty, in sorrow, and in joy, it does not mean that when somebody is cheating on the other person, say, "Acheke ka dinga yin hakuri." Ba abin da yana nufi ba. Yana nufi cewa akwai circumstances in life. For example, you may be working as a husband who is providing for the family, and suddenly there is no work. Ba za ki gudu ki bar shi ba. Zai iya samun rauni ko ciwo da zai zama paralyzed. Ba za ki gudu ki bar shi ba. That's what it means. But it doesn't mean cewa wani ya ta cucin wani sai a ce wai ya ta hakuri. Ko matan ta dinga daka shi a daki sai ya fita sai dinga pretending kaman shi man ne. Amma nan ko an gama ba shi kashi a daki. Ba abin da prayer book yana nufi ba kenan. It means that if that is the case, then we are enduring the marriage. But we're supposed to enjoy the marriage. And that was what God did for us. So everybody must make sure that his marriage works. We have done GBV, gender-based violence. They can even take him to prison. Yes, if he's finished his prison time, if they want to continue with their marriage, they will do it. But you see, the truth is that if you have cancelled and the thing refuses to work, there are authorities that you will take him. Maybe yes, because in church you are counseling, you are persuading him to do the right thing. But in that place, they will force him to do the right thing. Yes, and in Yakima, sun saying the Swedish. So that is what you do after the. So number 4. Any number 4?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. The first thing is to add knowledge or more explanation. Maybe a child is born this morning, and after a week or so, you did baptism, and the child is dead, or a child that is just born today and not baptism and is dead. I need more explanation. Beside that one, the second one is in the issue of marriage. Okay, it's unfortunate that my Lord is not here. I asked this question and he answered me close to what we are saying. Mark chapter 9 verse 10 said, what God have joined together, there should be no asunder. In other words, no one should separate. I know the explanation we've given concerning the gender-based violence. I don't know. There is this interpretation. I know my Lord have given me interpretation to this, what God have joined. Well, let me say it, his leadership explanation is that if it so happened that this man is maltreating this woman, let me put the other way around. Some of us men are also suffering. If this woman is giving the man headache, my Lord believes is that it means God have not really joined them together. Do you understand? So, I don't know. And I seem to agree with that truly, because I don't believe that somebody should die like that because of marriage. But, you see, I think the church can come together. The church can come together. The church elders can come together and look at this thing critically, so that no one died in silence or report it to the constitutional authority, like you have said. Then the last one is a quick. Which church can host a Christian wedding? Is it a church that is sealed or not sealed?
Which church can
wait people?
which church?
What I mean is, in terms of building, for instance, no, sealed church or not?
Seal church in terms of dedicating the church? Okay. Now, let me you know, if you are referring to constitution, the diocese is already registered, so you are covered with whatever the diocese is done. So you are covered with that. Duk inda kun yi in an ga certificate din Anglican Diocese of Bukuru, an san Diocese of Bukuru is covered. That is why nobody. I remember when we were having a meeting, Canon Chuang stood up and said, "My church." Then the administrator say, "Your church?" Hello. I didn't challenge you in marriage in regard to whether the church is completed or not, whatever it is. But you know, in those days, the churches have to register themselves. But in our own case, the diocese have already covered, and the person marrying the people is licensed by the church, so he can do his marriage. And in regard to that which you say, in Mutuyana Badakashi, somebody asked me that question sometimes back. An yi aure, an gama aure, mata da miji sun koma station nashi, tana zuwa ta je ta sai jeans ta sa, ta ce in ga wanda zai taba ni. Sun yi sati biyu, wani lokaci har za ta fita ta tafi ta yi 1 week 2 weeks ta dawo, mutumin na ya dinga kuri har 1 year. Sai ya lallaba ta sun dawo inda mun su aure, ya report a church. Ya ce to ga abin da za yi fa. An kira su an zona, ta ce a lambaran in dai an ce lalle ta zona da wannan, ai da ta kashe shi ko ta kashe kanta. Sai mutumin ya tambaye ni, ya ce in kai ne pastor fa me za ka yi? Hello. Au ta kashe shi ko ta kashe kanta. Na ce number 1 ya nuna cewa kamar yadda ka faɗa, ba Allah ne ya hada abin ba. In was ya kai was, zan ce to ku je ku yi invitation card, ku kira mutane su zo, za a yi bikin raba aure, just by the way. But the truth is that in ya kai wancan level din, the church has to take this decision. And at most times, it is not generalized. Every issue is treated separately. That is why I said you have to read the Constitution to help you when you have challenges. Just read the Constitution, it will tell you where to go, because there are so many issues. In fact, even in regard to confirmation, if you read the Constitution, it will tell you some things that we really didn't know. Bishop yana the equal yishi yana nang anang in regard to marriage. So our problem is that we have the books with us, we don't read them. So we will be doing something different while, and God help us, in members now someone nabu munshiga uku. Suma kama muniba su karatu. But 10 pages yai magana akang aure. Thank you very much.
Can I make a, let me give us one challenge and let's take it. We have our own weaknesses. Yaya za a aure a ce ni na daura aure, ni na daura aure, and auren ta kai ga divorce. I don't have it. I don't have a couple in my life. I have over 300. Over 300. And to the glory of God, I don't have one that is taken to divorce. Not that they don't have crisis, but they had a background before the marriage. We should take these matters more serious, because just 1 week, 2 weeks later is divorced, and it is us. No, it shouldn't be. So let's take this marriage issue more serious. Let it be problem where modeji mukei, ama it is not happening among us in our diocese. The reason to overcome is work hard on these young couples. If possible, have a good discipleship class for them beyond just counseling, and prepare them. Finally, Zangroka, once a while, we could have marriage seminars. We could organize it, not only for us, but maybe at archdeaconry level. We can organize a marriage seminar and invite all our couples and let them have a time out together, and let them smile together, let them hug themselves again, and break some cultures and break some barriers and make them feel comfortable. That will build us stronger and better.
Okay, let me finish with his question. Or are you adding on what he said?
Thank you very much, sir. I'm happy that this is coming up. This issue of family ministry and seminars. We have tried 1, 2, 3 times and we will not show up. So you can't give what you don't have. The suggestion that our guy is making here, we have to be deliberate in, first of all, creating a training or avenue for us as pastors and pastors' wife of what the marriage should be and how people should be counseled. So, but when we tried 1 or 2 times, we were asked to be in charge of family ministry of the diocese. People were not showing up. You go, Equa churches, they have retreat every year. There's one good news in Gwagwalada. For the past 10 years, we facilitate their marriage program, and they will travel from Gwagwalada to Miango. Equa good news, just here, is 19 years. And they go twice. Those who are married, marriage is 5 years below, separate with those because of the different issues. And they will book the following year to the next year, just diocese. We just came back from them about 3 weeks ago. There were 40 couples. Well, here, it doesn't work. I don't know why. Maybe we should think about it, because it has come up now. Each time my husband brings it up, I told him that I'm tired because I think it's not working. So as Oga was talking, he was looking at me. So that's why I came out. So it's something we may, I don't know whether there's something really wrong with us, I don't know. But you can't give what you don't have. That's the truth. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, ma. There is something I wrote here which I just passed. You know, receiving the cups into the church, you receive it at the gate of the church or at the west door. Okay? In a place where the deceased is having, he died with contagious disease, you don't bring into the church. You do it at the graveyard. Now in Anglicanism, we have what is called the reasoning. So in terms of the child that died, they just gave birth to him today, and he died tomorrow. You know, in your own reason, you will decide whether that is good for, you know. So you use your reasoning in determining that, okay? But most of the times you will see even children up to the age of 10, they are just taken to the gravesite directly. No, you should also be given that honor of that proper service. You are telling me that my time is up and you are saying you want to ask questions. So which one do we follow? And please, those of us that want the paper, because I asked a lot of people and they say they want it, can you put up your hand so that we will see the people? The money is 1,500 if you want, or if you cannot give 1,500, you will give me my production fee, which is 1,015 naira. It is something like this. All of them are something like this. And I have a copy of the Great Thanksgiving attached to it. There are only a few copies. So those that want, Malgit, can you look at them so that you can go around and look at them? So look, just keep your hand up as you go around to check.
Hallelujah. My question is concerning the funeral service. Funeral service. During funeral service, there is a particular quorum that we see in the program often. Pray for the family. And I have been searching in our prayer book, never come across it. Is it liturgical or is?
Okay, the Constitution says that we should follow the order laid down by the what? Book of Common Prayer. If you check, there are prayers there, which ideally, if you check the wordings, they are prayers for the family. But just like just like the kissing the bride is a borrowed culture, we are also borrowing that culture. But if you check those prayers there, they are really prayers for the family. Yes. Last, sir.
Thank you, sir. So my question is concerning burial. The Common Prayer Book did not tell us concerning a priest following the corpse to the mortuary, because you will see some family will say the pastor has to follow them to the mortuary to go and carry the corpse and bring it to the church. And I didn't see it in the prayer book, sir.
Just like the reasoning of a thing. You know, sometimes you are helping people to cope with the death of their loved ones. So if they really want it, it doesn't kill you if you follow them. Yeah, you just follow them. That will give them more. They will like that. But if you say no, President Jeba is not in the prayer book, that's you should say ankama zaka gabin da zasu maka. So you just in suna so just follow them. Just follow them. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. May the Lord bless us all.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.